When it comes to building your Terraria character, channeling one particular stat to the max isn't uncommon. For example, a max damage build is extremely effective at taking out single targets quickly, a max dodge build is fantastic at cheesing bosses, and even a max attack speed build is brilliant at dealing with crowds. Today, I'm going to be showing you an utterly insane build that, practically speaking, is completely useless, but is by far one of the most fun ways to play the game. Yes, maximum knockback. You'll enjoy this one. Before we jump into it though, we're actually on the absolute final stretch to hitting the big 150k milestone, so if you enjoy this content, why not let YouTube know and help support the channel. Alright then, let's have some fun, shall we? Despite being a melee-focused statistic, unlike melee speed, it can benefit a huge range of different weapons throughout the game. And although there are some obvious options that will work a lot better with this build, even guns will be an absolute laugh to use. Anyway, let's kick this build off with something you wouldn't expect for a knockback build: armor. Yeah, if you want the absolute highest possible, you ideally want to be running a full set of vortex armor, or if you're going to be less mobile, a full set of shroomite. You see, off the bat, while in stealth mode, knockback will be increased by 50%, which with this alone is already pretty noticeable. But of course, this is barely scratching the surface, and it's going to get a lot more insane with this assortment of accessories. Similar to the melee speed build, we're basically going to want to stack as many glove accessories as possible, as all these combined equates to a massive 500% knockback increase. When it comes to obtaining them, you're basically going to want to head to your underground to farm regular mimics for Titan gloves, venture to your jungle to find feral claws in chests, destroy a Crimson Biomimic in your underground Crimson for some Flesh Knuckles, farm each of the mech bosses on the Wall of Flesh so you can craft a couple Avenger emblems, and finally, get your hands on a Magma Stone from lava bats found in your underworld. With all of this, head to your Tinker's Workshop, and finally, we can get combining. Oh, and when it comes to your spare slots, run something like the Destroyer Emblem or Eye of Golem, as landing a crit increases knockback inflicted by another 40%. Speaking of crits, make sure to reforge all your accessories to Lucky, as we're going to want as much as possible. Okay then, this is looking pretty good. I mean, just look at these crabs fly. But guess what? We can make it even better. By drinking a Titan Potion and Flask of Cursed Flames, melee hits will have the potential to deal an additional 60% knockback, which on these crabs at least, sends them just a little bit further into the stratosphere. Oh, also, the reason I'm using the Slap Hand is because it has the highest base knockback in the game. However, technically speaking, Jousting Lances can deal more due to its scaling on speed. Unfortunately though, its damage also scales with this, making it difficult to show off. And if we want to get even more crazy, the Orange and Grey Zappinator can deal even more knockback than a maximum speed lance, due to the projectiles having a 1 in 20 chance of dealing 54 knockback, and wait for it, a 1 in 1,280,000,000 chance of dealing 28,697,814 knockback, which although fascinating, most definitely breaches the max knockback cap of 16, and is so impossibly rare, I really wouldn't rely on it. Don't worry though, because the fun doesn't stop there, thanks to two other synergistic items: the Thorns Potion and Shield of Cthulhu. Luckily for us, our massive knockback buff does transfer to contact damage, making Thorns especially effective, and, this is the best bit, the Shield of Cthulhu's dash utterly hilarious. If you ever wanted to play Snowflinks football, well, here's your chance. Just look at them go. I guess at this point you could argue that max knockback is OP, as sometimes the enemies are knocked that far away, they actually despawn. So yeah, max knockback, by far one of the funniest builds to do in Terraria right now. I think the thing that makes it so effective is just how many items and consumables increase it, and even with its hard cap of 16, can make for some pretty unbelievable spectacles which are well worth the setup. This has been sockrteez, and I'll see you in the next one.